As I was preparing for the talk today, I saw my son walking by and I said, "Oh, hey buddy, come here for a second. Yeah, you want to help mommy out? How about you be my audience here while I practice?" And he looked right at me and he went, "No." I said, "Come on." So I threatened or bribed him, and I finally got him to sit down. So he's my audience. I get about 30 seconds into the talk. He just gets up and walks right out of the room. So I see him later and I say, "Liam, what the heck? That was kind of rude. I just started my talk and you just got up and left. Thanks a lot." And he goes, "Mom, I don't want to sound mean, but they're going to make fun of you." What do you mean they're going to make fun of me? "I'm telling you, Mom, they're going to make fun of you. You're talking about meditation. They're going to think you're weird." And, weird. To a 7-year-old, that's the worst thing you can be, is weird. And, I thought about my son's concern for me appearing weird. And in actuality, I felt the same way for the longest time. For the longest time, I never told anybody that I worked with that I meditated, because I figured, like a 7-year-old, they would think I was weird. And it wasn't until recently that I've started to talk about the fact that I meditate. And I'm always surprised people are interested in learning about it. They want to know, well, what exactly is it? What can it do for me? Do you think I could benefit from meditation? In fact, a couple of days ago, I mentioned to one of my classes that I was doing this talk. And they said, "Well, what's the topic?" I said, "Meditation." Whoa, their eyes lit up. "No way, that's cool. I want to learn more about meditation. You think it would help us?" One girl wanted help for her senior exit interview. She was already getting nervous for it. But it was interesting because it made me reflect back when I was their age in high school. Because from the time I was a young child until I was 19, I suffered from horrible anxiety. And I was a lifelong introvert. I would have never, like these students here tonight, have been standing on this stage talking with you. And it wasn't until I was a sophomore in college when I was introduced to meditation that all changed. I still remember when I first learned to meditate. I went to a retreat, and I came out of the building after meditating, and I was walking towards the parking lot, and I had this strange sensation overcome me. It was good, but it was strange. I didn't know what it was. And I sort of just stopped and stood there. I wanted to figure out what it was that I was feeling. And I remember looking up at the trees, and suddenly I realized it wasn't so much what I was feeling, but rather what I wasn't feeling. For the first time in my memory, I didn't feel anxious. I didn't have that undercurrent of fear or dread. I felt light. I felt free. The closest example I could give you is if you've ever been in a room where the lights are buzzing, and it's just a low-grade buzz, and you're in the room long enough that you don't even hear the buzzing anymore, and you think you're in a silent room, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and they shut the lights off, and the buzzing stops. And you realize that what you thought was silence really wasn't. And now you are experiencing true silence. That's what it felt like for me after that meditation. My mind was quiet. It was calm. It felt wonderful. All right, so now I want to fast forward 20 plus years. I've finished college and I've been teaching high school English. It's the beginning of a new school year, teacher in service training. The first half of the day, we were told about the new teacher evaluation system. Essentially, we were all mediocre. It didn't matter how smart you were, how hardworking you were, how dedicated you were to your students. It would be almost impossible to be rated distinguished. Demoralizing, to say the least. The second half of the day, we were told to wear long pants, long sleeves, and running shoes. We were going to be shot at. With the growing number of school violence, a lot of schools are having their teachers go through simulation drills so that we're better prepared for an armed intruder. So they were going to shoot us with pellet guns. Now, as the drill began, I had a student teacher with me, And as the drill began, I had one thought, and that was, don't get shot. I didn't want to start the school year with welts all over my body. So the drill started, and I remember I grabbed my student teacher, and I looked around the room, and I tried to find the largest teachers. And I found this big guy, and I grab her, and I kind of like push her over here, and we duck down, and I look at her, and I go, you really want to do this? And she said, what, hide behind this guy? I said, oh, no, we definitely want to hide behind this guy. No, I mean, teach. Are you sure you want to be a teacher? As teachers that day, we were both figuratively and literally shot at. It was evident that teachers are on the front line of society. We are easy targets both for random violence in schools and for being the scapegoats for all of society's problems. Why would anyone want to become a teacher? And then I began to reflect upon my own teaching experience. And I thought about how have I been able to survive teaching high school English for almost 20 years? And the answer always leads me back to meditation. Now, maybe you're sitting there thinking, what is meditation? Maybe you're thinking, I don't know, I kind of agree with the 7-year-old. Sounds a little weird. But in actuality, it's really not. Meditation has become more mainstream. A lot of corporations are using meditation for their employees because it helps productivity. It helps their employees to think more creatively, to work more collaboratively. The basic definition of meditation is the concentration on a single thought, word, or object. It's the quieting of one's mind in order to evoke clarity and focus. Meditation provides a profound level of relaxation, far deeper than that of sleep. There's a large body of research out there on the benefits of meditation for the body and for the mind. The medical community is beginning to embrace meditation for the benefits on the heart, on the brain, on overall health. Meditation slows the aging process. Quite literally, it's a fountain of youth. For me, meditation has been helpful in so many ways. First and foremost, it has tremendously helped with my problem with anxiety. It's helped with my personal relationships. It helps with my health. It's given me a brighter, better disposition and outlook on life. I meditate every day. My children are used to me meditating. The typical routine is after school, I go, I pick up the kids, I bring them home, I give them their after-school snack, and I say, okay, kids, have your snack, play, rest, relax. Mommy's going to go in her office and meditate for 20 minutes. That 20 minutes of meditation helps me to just release all of the stress, the little irritations, the conflicts of my day. It rejuvenates my body. It clears my mind. I come out of meditation feeling refreshed, ready for the rest of the day. I then can go back in with my children, and I'm a much better mother. I'm able to be present in the moment with them. I have greater patience. I'm calmer. I'm able to sit down and help my son with his homework. And the same holds true with my students. When I meditate, I tend to be, I think, a nicer teacher. I'm definitely more understanding and compassionate. I have a lot more patience. I'm able to perceive their needs more clearly. I'm able to think more creatively when it comes to my lessons. Teachers who meditate report having a diminishment of the ego. Here's what that means. The ego needs to be right, always. The ego perceives each situation as good or bad, a win, a loss. The ego perceives each interaction as either for or against me. Interactions perceived as against me are met with fear, hostility, anger, resentment. Meditators report having a diminishment of these egoic-based reactions and instead respond to situations more objectively. Teachers who meditate don't take student misbehavior as personally. They're able to see the big picture clearly, and they respond with greater harmony, compassion, and understanding. Then there's the letting go effect. When I meditate, I'm able to release stress and anger faster. By being able to release these negative emotions faster, they don't fester inside of me. The longer these negative emotions are allowed to fester inside of somebody, the more harm that is done to the person's body and mind. Now, meditation isn't going to eliminate all of life's problems. It's not going to eliminate the volatile student or the unresponsive parent or the high-stakes tests. But meditation will provide teachers with a strong tool to help them cope with the growing amount of stress present in teaching in today's world. Schools should provide instruction on meditation to both administrators and to teachers. We're at a critical point in our social development. We have experienced the very worst of school violence. We experience impossible expectations. Bottom line, teaching today is totally different than what it was when I started teaching 20 years ago. We need new resources to help our teachers be healthier and stronger. The healthier our teachers are, the healthier our classrooms will be, the healthier our students will be. Truly, meditation can help teachers to unplug from the noise, to overcome the stress of their jobs, to be centered, and to teach from within. Thank you.